Now, let me give you some keys on problem solving that really helped to alter my life. Problem solving. First, work out your problems on paper, not just conversation and thinking. Put the problem on paper. You'll find if you're around us quite a bit, the evening seminar, these 2 days, any other context you might have with us, we're always talking about paper, journals, projects, books, learning to think on paper. And problem solving is the same thing. To solve a problem, simple. First, divide a piece of paper in half. On this side of the paper, state the problem. Just write it out. Now, you don't have to live on it or live in it. You don't have to dwell on it. You don't have to stay on it. But you do have to state it. To make an intelligent decision, you need the accurate facts. You got to know what the problem is. So that's the first step. Just write it out. In some very simple language, here is the problem. I've got this and this and this. Okay? Just make a statement of the problem. Now on this side, work out the answers. Okay? On paper, in your thinking process. Now to solve a problem, let me give you 3 questions to ask to solve any problem. 3 questions to ask to solve any problem. Now this is a process to go through. And you want to go through a process because here's what you want. Not just a solution to a problem. You want to become a problem solver. If you solve a problem, that's temporary. If you become a problem solver, that's permanent. It's like the old line of what's better, to have a fish or to learn how to fish. But it's much better to learn how to fish than it is to just be handed a fish. The same is true in sales. We teach in sales. Making a sale is temporary. Becoming a salesperson is permanent. Right? People who are just going for the next sale, live what's known as the temporary sales life. And they're always scrambling, simply because they don't become a salesperson, a persuader, by working hard on themselves. Okay? So what you want to become is a problem solver. And you do that by going through this process. First question is, what could I do? Okay, the first question to solve the problem is, what could I? Now don't go beyond step 1 till you've thoroughly covered it. Then just make a list of some of the potential answers. Here's the first one, here's the second one, here's the third one. I could do this, or I could do this, or I could do this. Just start toying with some of the answers on the paper. Then, once you've got these put together, which is the, well, listen, would take too long. I need an answer a little quicker. I need to do it sooner. This one seems a little weak. This first one I thought of, that's probably the answer right there. Just work with it on paper, not in your mind. The best way to organize your thoughts is to write them down. It's a little difficult to just organize them in your mind. Organize answers in your mind. Come up with potential possibilities, options. You just got to write out your options on paper, my opinion. Now then, here's the second question to ask. Second question to solve. There could very well be a book on the problem. Or if I might find an answer. Maybe you've got a problem that's got a section in the library. You just go to that section, start going through the books. Somebody else might have put a whole lifetime into trying to solve that particular problem, and they've written a whole book on it. Or there's several books on it. So that's a major question. What could I read? Okay, number 2. Here's the third question to solve a problem. Who could I ask? Now don't go to number 3 till you've passed number 1 and number 2. And if you pass number 1 and number 2 to the best of your ability, and you've done your best to work it out, and you still don't have the answer, and time is critical, and you've got to get closer to the solution, then go to number 3 and ask. But let me tell you what knowledgeable people are always willing to do. Answer questions if they get the sense you've done your best to figure it out beforehand. You can't believe this sense you get from people. If you say, I've done this, I've been through this, and I've read this, and I've done all this, and I still can't come up with the answer, could you help me? Almost anybody unique would say, of course. Right? What is the question? Let me see if I can help you with it. If you've gone through this process, we all respond, first of all, to somebody else's effort. They just didn't come to us for some cheap, quick answer. Okay? Now, see, we're all inclined to do that, right? When somebody says, I've done this, and I've done this, and I still need some help, and I think you can do it. We're ready to go for it. So, ask. Don't be afraid to ask. Go for the answers. But don't bypass this just for the quick answer, because that won't give you the muscle. It won't give you the personal development. It won't give you the strength and the know-how to become a problem solver if you skip these 2 steps. So those are the 3 steps to solving problems.
What that story means is that sometimes when you solve a problem, you bring, and that's actually life, because very few things that we provide solutions to don't generate a host of new problems. Like the car is a really good example of that. Because we like to think that the car is a thing to get from one place to another in, but it could turn out that what a car actually is an entity that transforms cities and also the atmosphere. Right. So, or maybe it's the assembly line that's not just an assembly line. Maybe this assembly line is the thing that transforms cities by making cars and also fills the atmosphere with carbon dioxide, and then we all die. Right? That's a big problem. So, at least hypothetically, it's a big problem. So it's always the case in life that when you move forward in one direction, and even if you solve a problem, that doesn't mean you've solved the problem of problems. And the best solution to a problem isn't the solution to a problem. The best solution to a problem is the solution to the problem of problems. Right? It's a category. How best to face the world if the world's composed of problems. If we face down our predators, if we confront the unknown instead of running away, if we explore and voluntarily, it turns out that every time we encounter a problem, we can extract out a solution. And that solution might be a solution for all sorts of things, rather than just a solution for that problem. And so, we've had to learn that the problem is also the place that generates solutions. So, there's nothing more informative than a problem. Now, the problem is that a problem might kill you. That's a problem. But, so it's not like we have been able to make the problem disappear, but we've come up with a pretty damn good way of dealing with them. It's like confront the damn problem and figure it out. And what do we do? What do we do then from that? What are we extracting? Well, he extracted out a shield, and of course that would protect him from the fire because it was made out of the firebox. It's like, good work, kid. When we confront a problem, what we extract out is information. And we use the information, we build with it, we learn new things about it. And so you can conceive of a problem as a place of information. Now, it's worse than that. That's not sufficient conceptualization, because it's a place of information that has this nature. You can't just turn it into an abstract issue, because the place of information is also the place of horrible, predatory, matter, spirit, reptile. It's all tangled together in one thing. We use the systems that we've evolved to rapidly identify predatory reptiles, but predators of all sorts, but predatory reptiles for the point of this argument. Once we became capable of abstraction, we used the same damn system to represent problems.
I want to talk to you about my formula for happiness and wealth. As you become aware of procrastinating, you can overcome it and then turn it into execution. I want you to take a quick moment and think about how you faced problems that have come your way in the past. If you're someone who gets easily overwhelmed, you might find yourself making little or no progress on your career or in your life, at least currently. That's why I've come up with 5 steps that will help you solve problems in an orderly way and that will increase the power of your thinking. Sort of like a recipe in the kitchen for making a delicious dish, you have a recipe for problem solving that enables you to handle anything that life throws your way. The first step is to proceed with a positive attitude. Approach any problem with the knowledge that there's a practical solution just waiting to be found. Be relaxed and calm and confident and clear in your mind. If you're struggling, act as though it were impossible to fail. Act as though you already had a high level of self-confidence and that success was guaranteed. Eliminating a negative attitude about the outcome of your goal will help give you the confidence that you need to succeed. Be true to yourself, to the very best that is in you, and never compromise. The next step is to define the problem clearly. Defining the problem clearly in writing is absolutely astonishing. When I work with a group of executives, and I'll have each person write down a definition that they're working with in the company, and everyone will have a different definition of the same problem, which is why they never get it solved. The first thing you do every morning should be to write down your biggest challenges, the obstacles that stand between you and your goal, and then list them in order of importance. If you do this one simple step, you'll immediately see your productivity, performance, and your self-confidence increase by 25% or more. If you're not sure where to start, try asking, what exactly is the challenge that I'm facing? Never use problem. The very best word is always a challenge or obstacle. What is causing me the greatest stress and anxiety in my life right now? What situations or problems are making me unhappy or doubtful? Write it out clearly in detail. Fully 50% of situations can be resolved by accurate definition. Just by clearly defining your problems and your goals and looking at ways to make progress, you'll be well on the way to tackling anything that comes your way. Next, identify all the causes and possible solutions to the problems you are facing. If you don't identify the causes of the problem you're facing, you'll be doomed, like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill, and the boulder keeps rolling back down again to deal with the same issues again and again. That's why you need to search for the root cause of the problem. Fully 80% of all problems in personal and professional life come from a lack of clarity. What exactly is the problem? Approach the problem from different directions. Brainstorm unique solutions. And remember, there are likely multiple solutions to the same problem, not just one. Once you've written your solutions down, rank them in order of ease and likelihood to succeed. Then, start attacking your problem with focus and clarity. And don't worry if your first solution doesn't work. You'll be ready to try the next tactic on your list. The fourth step is for you to take complete responsibility for your decisions. Remember, if it's to be, it's up to me. Accept complete responsibility for your actions and your progress. Many of the most creative ideas never materialize because no one accepts responsibility. Assume total responsibility and then set a deadline for completion and review. Remember, a decision without a deadline has no urgency, no beginning, and no end. The most successful leaders always hold themselves accountable to decisions and deadlines. To become someone that you have never been before, you must take full ownership of your life and do something that you've never done before. Make sure to follow up, track your progress, and compare your results with your goals. The final step is for you to start attacking your problem today. There's never been a better time to start today, not tomorrow, and certainly not someday. In order to succeed, you must develop a sense of urgency. The faster you move in the direction of your clearly defined goals, the more successful you will be, the more money you will earn, and the more you will learn and grow. Remember, you can solve any problem overcome any obstacle or achieve any goal that you can set for yourself by using your wonderful creative mind and taking action consistently and persistently until you attain your objective. And there are two ways to deal with any setbacks along the way. To carry your problems as boulders that burden you along the way, or to use your setbacks as stepping stones to pave a new path for yourself, you'll get better and better and stronger. Success is the mark of a creative thinker. And when you use your ability to think creatively, your success can become unlimited.